result in legal actions against you.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
"30 years of joyfulness." Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, Hits 103.9 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via our various affiliates, live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Coming up.
About review, but
I came for a review after being told to return in 4 months, but when I arrived, the nurses are on strike. I came from Takoradi today after my appointment.
Day 2 of the intensified nationwide strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association leaves a trail of harrowing scenes across the country, with outpatient and emergency services completely withdrawn and patients in critical condition being turned away, some with life-threatening conditions.
Na next time so ba date be na wode be shia enti say see no nurse fo enso no omo mbe ye hu doctors nurse fo enso na ma date
Takoradi number na appointment time maybe ya metina kalum be 8 o'clock.
This afternoon, we take you across the country for a look at the impact of the ongoing strike and explore potential solutions to the impasse threatening to cripple healthcare delivery nationwide.
Doctors have to do some of the work of the nurses. We don't have rotation nurses supporting us because the rotation nurses are challenged.
Also this afternoon, government to soon implement a directive banning the use of wood for school furniture as an environmental protection measure as it hopes to transition to the use of recycled plastic or metal.
We're soon going to pass a directive. School furniture will no longer be made of wood so that we can stop the cutting down of our trees. When you go to buy your food and they put it in that white plastic something and then you finish eating, you just dump it. That is one of the biggest polluters.
We have more as President Maame also announced government plans to ban the use of takeaway packs as food packaging material. Also coming up, illegal miners set up fuel station deep within a forest reserve in Akomfra in the Ashanti region as the Minerals Development Fund Task Force arrests several Chinese nationals involved in illegal mining there.
For these Chinese who said they don't even feel sorry for what they've done, they destroy our water bodies. We will also push to make sure that the law takes its course. But if they are going to be deported, it should not be before they pay for the restoration.
Though caught in the act, some of the Chinese nationals arrested say they are not responsible for the destruction.
Are you responsible for what we see here? You? Were you the one who did this?
No.
You're not the ones?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
So what are you doing here?
No.
We have details of that coming up in sports.
Well, the Ghana Boxing Authority has questioned the motives of the Sports Ministry's committee that is investigating the Nigerian boxer's death.
And also coming up later, experts warn that Ghanaian families are dropping the local languages.
Unfortunately, these days, in many homes in Ghana, people don't speak their native language.
These and more coming up with me, Maame, Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay. And this afternoon, a pregnant woman rushed to the hospital in Wa after a snake bite, denied emergency care and sent away without treatment. At Pampaso Children's Hospital in the Ashanti region, another expectant mother, 6 months pregnant and nursing severe burns from hot soup, limps out after being turned away. These are just two among many disturbing stories emerging from across the nation according to as a result of the strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Patients battling pain and uncertainty are forced to travel long distances only to be rejected at the hospital gates. Let's take you around the country now and get the very latest. We start from the Upper West region, from where Rafiq Salam joins us on the line. Rafiq, you talk about a pregnant woman bitten by a snake. What more can you report?
This pregnant woman is 22 years of age, and then she's highly pregnant. We are told that about 9 months pregnant. Told us that this morning she went to a snake call in the bush and suspected that some kind of insect reptile may have run over instead of the foot. And so what actually happened is that she saw a snake also lying closer. She suspected that she may have been eaten by that snake. So she was rushed to the regional hospital. According to her and also the husband, all the departments at the hospital, starting from the emergency service, OPD, and also the prenatal services, she couldn't get people to attend to her, and then finally decided to go home. So I made an attempt to speak to the husband, and the husband told me that they are really uncertain about what will happen, and they are contemplating on going to use several concussions to see whether really it will really soothe the pain. The woman really was in pain. She couldn't even stand. She had to speak akimbo. We also managed to speak to authorities at the hospital, and they told us that it's of the doctor is that yes, the facility is working, but it's not at full strength. What happens is that some of the unions who are not on strike, talking about the UPNMG who are at work, and then also some nurse trainees are also there, and they are the people that they are depending on.
So they can't attend to us. So we have to go back.
You came for what?
Postnatal for my son.
Okay.
We saw one nurse, then we asked if they are working, and they said they are not, and that they are on strike. So we should go home.
So now that you are going home, what are you going to do?
There's nothing. I'll have to wait maybe next month or until I hear that they are back from the strike. Then I bring my son. It's really having, because we drove all the way from Sompo, and then we come in, we are told that we should just go home. It's really bad.
Well, we head to the Ashanti region now. Another injured, heavily pregnant woman was turned away. Clinton Yabua is monitoring the situation for us. Clinton, what more can you report?
Maame, unlike the hospital here at the Conclusion Hospital, we started with nurses around of course. And one of the specific issues that I involves the pregnant woman who is in her March, but 6 months back was rejected to refuse treatment, although she has banned on her. So that's she learned to get out of the hospital.
And then my first time, but I'm almost on strike. This
is my first time, but I couldn't access help. I have been turned away. This could be detrimental.
Because obi nim de okofie ka akoto
obi ho wo yare ne ho mfa na aduru asa wa ba hospital e wo se wo ba amunya aduru enfam na mun check.
Some of the patients here are with critical conditions, especially the pregnant women. Some are in their last stages.
Clinton also spoke to some nurses at the hospital.
And the minister knows without fuel a car cannot run. And without a proper condition of service, nurses, there's this news that, or there's this communication that has been coming. Our colleagues who have even gone outside, they are even saying that if the conditions of service in Ghana is even lucrative, there would have been no need for them to travel outside. So if government will implement this condition of service and at least make it lucrative for us, the attrition rate would even go down. So it's better for government to implement the condition of service for nurses and midwives across the length and breadth of the country.
Well, at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, several departments were deserted when Joy News visited and patients were stranded. Collins Frimpong was on that beat for us and he joins me in studio. Collins, what is the story from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital?
Right. It's a sad situation at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. We arrived at the hospital 20 minutes after 7 and what we first saw was that the main entrance of the OPD was occupied with patients all over the place. And we also visited a number of places, and some of them included the labor ward and also the emergency ambulance ward, as well as the emergency main ward. And all these places, when we got there, we realized that there wasn't any nurse around at that particular moment. We came back to the OPD where we engaged some of the patients, and these were some of the things they told us.
I mean, by review, but 4 months no more.
I came for a review after being told to return in 4 months, but when I arrived, I was informed the nurses are on strike. It's been 4 months, and now that I'm back, there's no nurse available to attend to me, and I'm really worried. I had an appointment today, and my biggest worry is that if I don't receive treatment now, I don't know when I'll get another appointment.
Into me who said next time no ye ni mo date a o mo de beba na next time so wo ba date be na wo de be hia enti say see a no nurse fo enso no mo mba ye hu doctor si nurse fo enso na ma date
takradi number na my appointment time maybe ya metina kalum be 8 o'clock na mboju.
I came from Takradi today after setting off at 8 p.m. yesterday. My appointment, which I've waited 6 months for, is scheduled for today, but there's no one here to attend to me. All my medication is finished, and I have nowhere else to go. What worries me most is that my appointment expires today.
Oh, Collins, sad situation there. But you also interacted with the medical director for the hospital about the impact. What did he say?
Yes, so according to the medical director at the Rich Hospital, Dr. Leslie Issa Adam Zakaria, who engaged us, the hospital and the doctors are now overwhelmed. They have to do the work of both the nurses and the midwives.
The challenge we are facing is that doctors have to do some of the work of the nurses. We don't have rotation nurses supporting us, because the rotation nurses are challenged. They cannot work unsupervised, so they are not available. So the doctors have to do what they can do for the nursing aspects and then still do their work. So we are we are under pressure. We hope that things get better.
So, Collins, does that suggest the rotational nurses are not up to post yet?
No, according to him, there are no rotational nurses because they can't work alone. They are just NSS personnel.
The rotation nurses are like national service people who are supposed to work under supervision. If we bring them alone here, that means that they are going to work without supervision because their bosses are on strike. So, unfortunately for us, they are uncomfortable to work unsupervised, so they are not available.
Right, let's take you to the northern region now. Martina Bugri is there for us. Martina, is the situation there any different?
So for the TTH, it's different. We have some group of nurses who are there currently working. And when I arrived there in the morning, the place was a bit empty. But by the time I left, the whole place was filled up with patients who had come in. This Union of Professional Nurses and Midwives Ghana, they said that the strike they think has been hastily called. They believe that they should have dealt with the various processes, and especially that the Minister for Finance has scheduled a date for them to dialogue. And one other issue is that they say that the registered nurses have unilaterally taken decisions without involving them. And so they are ready to work. They will be at post. They will call in those who are on leave to come and assist. But I also spoke to those who are on strike, the registered nurses, and they said that they have redone their service at the OPD and specialized hospitals. But moving on, if their leadership gives them the directive, they would possibly move into the wards and get those who are in there to comply with the strike.
All right, Martina, thank you for that update. Well, the National Labour Commission has declared the strike illegal. In a statement, the Commission says a meeting called to address grievances of the nurses was boycotted by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, even though all other groups, including the Finance and Health Ministries, as well as other nurses' unions, were present. Let's speak to General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, David Tinkran, who joins us via Zoom. We're grateful for your time, David, on the Midday News. Your strike has brought untold hardship on patients and service delivery across hospitals in the country. Yet government hasn't signed the bargaining agreement. Is it not time to call off the strike or return to the negotiation table? David.
Good afternoon, my dear sister, and good afternoon to your viewers. It is also time for government to heed to their call and sign or approve the condition of service. I must say that this is regrettable, it's painful, but it's necessary. We think that we've been taken for granted for far too long, and this is the time to assert our rights as nurses and midwives. If people don't consider us as essential service, we know that our service is essential. Let me tell you something. Nursing and midwifery is the fulcrum around which the health system revolves. All right. So those who don't know will get to know.
But David, do you believe your demands justify the disruption in healthcare delivery as we're seeing today?
I'm saying that we shouldn't have gotten to this far if those who are seized with authority to do the right thing have done that. I'm saying that we are not going back to any negotiation. I mean, your colleagues keep repeating this. We have signed the condition of service. It's been negotiated, it's been signed, it's been sealed. What we are asking for is approval for implementation. This is a statement I want to make emphatically.
But this agreement, so David, this agreement was agreed in the Eswell administration. The Ministry of Health says that the minister is yet to review the agreement. Is it not fair for him to go through the agreements and know what he is agreeing to? At least come to the negotiation table, speak with him, get to know his mind, where it is, and then you can proceed from there instead of going on a strike.
That's the painful aspect of it. How long has the minister been in office? And let me tell you something. We don't deal with government. We deal with the employer. Government will change. Employers still remains the same. Apart from the sector minister, who else has changed as far as the ministry is concerned? So the document is not something that is not known to people. The content is known. And let me make this clear to you that every other health worker is enjoying this same condition of service or even better. So why do you say that nurses and midwives shouldn't enjoy it?
Well, David, the NLC has also described your strike as illegal. How do you respond to that? Are you not going back to work?
He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. When did we notify the NLC? NLC considers as essential service. The labor law clearly says that nursing and midwifery are essential service. Is that not it? Now, when disputes arise between employer and employee, the attention of the Labour Commission is drawn, they have up to 3 days to call for compulsory arbitration. We notify NLC on the 28th of May. We did not even receive a letter. We saw a letter inviting us to a meeting on the 4th, which is yesterday. Okay, clearly that is a violation of the same section 162 clause 3 of the labor law. So I'm saying that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Well,
if they have been able to violate that provision.
They've asked you to call off the strike. Will you call it off?
Say again?
They've asked you to call off the strike and come back to the negotiation table. Will you do that?
We won't call off the strike.
What exactly, under which conditions are you prepared to consider returning to work?
When the Minister of Finance approves the condition of service that has already been negotiated for implementation. We know that implementation comes with a lot of difficulties. We are prepared to sit down and look at the nuances of implementation. I'm not saying that implement everything, pay us today, otherwise you won't come to work. We are reasonable people. the suffering of Ghana. And don't forget that we are also patients as well. You understand? We are not immune to sickness. Okay, so we are not comfortable with the situation. I mean, we've heard the cries of Ghanaians. I mean, look at pregnant women who are crying and all that. It's terrible, and that's what I'm saying, that we are troubled by this kind of thing. And I believe that the employer will heed to our demands as
All
well.
right. Thank you, David, for your time on the Midday News. And you heard the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, David Tinkran Chum. Moving on, President John Mahama has announced government's intention to ban the use of wood for the production of school furniture. Speaking at the World Environment Day celebrations held at Kwabenya, the president said that in the near future, school furniture will no longer be made from wood. Instead, there will be a transition to the use of recycled plastic or metal as more environmentally friendly alternatives.
We can't be planting trees and cutting them down at the same time. And so to reduce the cutting of trees, it is my intention to issue a directive to stop the use of wood for school furniture. We're soon going to pass a directive. School furniture will no longer be made of wood so that we can stop the cutting down of our trees. We will either use recycled plastic for our school furniture, or we will use metal furniture.
The president also announced government's plans to ban the use of styrofoam as food packaging material, also known as takeaway packs. He explained that government is working to encourage more sustainable options.
Other things we intend to do is to ban styrofoam as a food packaging material. One of the most pernicious polluters is styrofoam plastic. When you go to buy your food and they put it in that white plastic something, and then you finish eating, you just dump it. That is one of the biggest polluters. And so we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam plastics. We have to use paper packaging or aluminium foil for packaging our food. And so I'm informing the manufacturers and importers of styrofoam with the Ministry of Environment. Soon we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam and production of styrofoam in Ghana.
Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Akmakba joins us with more on the president's address. Maxwell, the president also touched on efforts to combat illegal mining, also known as galamsey. What updates did he provide?
Well, Maame, he revealed that 300 excavators have been seized from illegal miners across the country. He added that 9 forest reserves previously considered dangerous no-go zones due to heavily armed illegal miners had been identified as critical zones. So far, 8 out of the 9 red zones have been successfully liberated by security forces. He says the fight to liberate the final reserve is currently ongoing.
As I speak, they have seized 300 excavators from illegal miners. 9 forest reserves were no-go areas because the illegal miners were armed to their teeth. Working together with the military and the police, they've been able to evict the illegal miners from 8 of the no-go zone forest reserves. And my understanding is that they're in the process of liberating the last of the 9 red zones. We are told that 44 of our forest reserves have been invaded. We have 288 forest reserves in Ghana. And out of the 288, 44 have been invaded by illegal small-scale miners. And so the 9 are the red zone where they were armed to the teeth. Those were the more difficult ones, and so they decided to tackle those first. And now they'll move on to liberate the other 44 forest reserves so that we stop gaps. It is important for us to do so because our rivers take their source from our forests. And so if we destroy our forests, our rivers will also dry up.
Well, Joy News has uncovered that the construction of a fuel station deep within a forest reserve in the Akonfre community of the Ashanti region. According to official sources, this brazen move is intended to supply fuel to heavy earth-moving equipment used in the reckless destruction of forest cover in search of gold. Joy News' Blessed Soga reports from the community where a raid led by the Minerals Development Fund Task Force resulted in the arrest of several Chinese nationals suspected of masterminding the illegal mining operation.
Residents of Akonfra in the Ashanti region are shocked at the revelations of this morning's raid led by the Minerals Development Fund. The Minerals Development Fund, together with security agencies, in the early hours of today, apprehended some foreign nationals who are believed to be part of the syndicate leading illegal mining operations within the forest reserve found within this community.
The community is fed up. And in fact, the communities are fed up. They are fed up that they destroy the land, they destroy the water bodies, and at the end of the day, they're going to blame government. Because they want water, government has to provide. They want this, government has to provide. For these Chinese who say they don't even feel sorry for what they've done, they've destroyed our water bodies, they've done so much. We will also push to make sure that the law takes its course.
You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a break. We return with sports. And also experts warn that the local languages are gradually being eroded.
Unfortunately, these days, in many homes in Ghana, people don't speak their native language in
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Dear parents and wards, here are guidelines for school selection. Candidates who wish to enter SHS or TVET schools must, with guidance from their parents or guardians and school authorities, select 7 schools in total, 5 main, 2 alternative schools. Your 5 main schools should be ranked in order of preference, with the first being the most preferred choice. Your 2 alternative schools should be selected from Appendix 3 for consideration if not placed in any of your 5 main choices. Select programs and residential preferences for each choice of school, 3 boarding and 2 day. Candidates may select one Category B school as boarding and another Category B school as day. Candidates may select one Category C school as boarding and another Category C school as day. Note that a candidate placed in any of their choices will not be changed. Please note that candidates cannot choose more than one school from Category A. They cannot select more than 2 schools from Category B. They may select all 5 schools from Category C, 3 boarding, 2 day, and candidates who wish to offer purely TVET programs must select all 5 TVET institutions from Categories A, B, and C as day or boarding. Candidates who wish to offer program choice about future job prospects such as engineers, physicians, astronauts, etc. must select STEM or science in all 5 choices from Categories A, B, and C as day or boarding. The school selection form must be signed off by a parent or guardian and submitted to the head teacher of the JHS attended. Kindly note that parents or guardians must keep a copy of the school selection form.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Sports now.
Well, the communications director of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Mohammed Amin Lamte, he has raised concerns over the credibility of the report submitted by the committee set up by the Sports and Recreation Minister to investigate the death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Olanrewaju. The former West African champion collapsed during a bout at the Bukom Boxing Arena in Accra on March 29 and was later pronounced dead at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Me, I'm the ring announcer. I'm the communication director of Ghana Boxing Authority. Nobody invited me to the committee. You don't mean it. You are asking me, I don't mean it. I'm telling you, I was not invited. And the committee should not invite me. I am the ring announcer. Yeah. I am closer to the scene more than anybody. Of course. We have video, no shot. I was the one going on radio and TV explaining what I saw. I'm a Muslim. I can't lie. I'm a Muslim. I've been in boxing for years. Not only in Ghana, even outside Ghana. Do you know the individuals who were invited? Moses Famweni. He has a bone to pick with the GBA. But was he there on the night? He was not there. Moses Famweni. And then number two, you have Kaloko, a trainer, a GBA board member. He was not at the boxing or no. And then Roger Bano, he is not at the scene.
That was Mohammed Amin Lamte.
Thank you very much for sports. Now, in many Ghanaian homes, English has taken the place of native languages, and experts say it's putting the country's cultural identity at risk. Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
In a typical Ghanaian household today, English dominates conversations. It is often seen as a sign of intelligence and, for many parents, a point of pride. But language experts say this growing shift could have a long-term consequences. Head of linguistics at the University of Ghana, Professor Opani Kofi Ajikum, says abandoning mother tongues for English doesn't make anyone more important.
We have positive attitude towards our languages. We will not allow them to go into extinct. So what we have been doing for all the years is that we do language shift.
And that's it from Mohammed Nuruddin on that local language story. Jackie's here with what's trending. Jackie,
yes,
can you speak your local language fluently?
Make a cheaper.
Hey. What's trending?
Well, Mami, the hashtag World Environment Day is trending, with people sharing some of the greatest environmental challenges facing humanity on social media. And away from that, we still have the e-levy trending. People are still on social media doing comparison. Let me just read
on
this.
The petroleum levy and the e-levy?
Yes, on the petroleum levy. Sorry. So let me read one comment here. Ricardo says that the Dumsor levy wouldn't be paid by all Ghanaians, unlike e-levy. So people are just trying to juxtapose why they think the new levy is better than the e-levy.
Thank you, Jackie. And that's how we end the midday news here on Joe 99.7 FM. Up next is Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.